Welcome to Edison TV. I'm Catherine Thompson, Technology Analyst at Edison, and I'm here today with Matthias Stadelmeier, CEO of Tradedoubler. Tradedoubler is a global marketing and technology company that helps advertisers and publishers to grow through performance-based solutions, market data insights, and advanced tools to track the customer journey. Tradedoubler is listed on Nasdaq Stockholm. Welcome, Matthias. Thanks for coming in today.
Hi, Catherine. Thank you for having me.
I thought I'd kick off by starting with your largest business, which is your partner marketing business. So an affiliate network that connects over 3,000 brands with more than 180,000 publishers. Could you give us a feel for the trends that you're seeing in that business? For example, the relative performance of the different verticals that you operate in, but also a sense of what you're seeing changes from LLM search.
I can certainly do that. So we are pioneers in partner marketing, affiliate marketing, as Tradedoubler was founded in 1999 already. So we're doing that for a little bit more than 25 years. We've always been focusing on e-commerce businesses. So we have 4 large verticals, which is fashion, travel, consumer electronics, and then retail a little bit more generally. We have a few businesses in finance, for example, or insurance, but these e-commerce ones are the main ones. In these, you rather see seasonal trends, like obviously Q4 is important for retail in general. And we had a large increase in fashion over the last few years. There was a lot of fast fashion brands popping up, the likes of Zara, for example, Pull & Bear. That's kind of like our clients that has grown a lot. There is quite a few coming from China now as well, marketplaces, but fast fashion focused as well. That is helping us a bit. But in the industries itself, so in these different verticals, we do not see so many changes in itself. It is more when you go then underneath how they operate, the majority of affiliate marketing, when you see this product life cycle, how they operate, that is quite fascinating. And the real changes are happening on the publisher side, so on the network side, where we have a constant shift on what kind of partners our clients are working with. We obviously have the traditional channels like cashback, vouchers, price comparison, for example, but especially with LLM, as you're asking, we see a big push on content and media sites, because these content and media sites are basically feeding the LLMs, and it's super important for brands to be visible in these content pieces, to be talked about, basically written about, because that gets cited then from the LLMs, and this is driving customer behavior. At the moment, there is a bit of a gap because we can't really measure the click out from the LLMs because there is no tracking possible at the moment, but we get a lot of data from the publishers where we can see how user journeys are started from the LLMs. It's a huge shift in the industry. In the end, it's fascinating because it's changing so quickly. But in the end, it helps us actually because it shortens the user journey. It lifts these media and content publishers in their importance, which then drives a lot of value for the brand. So it's exciting times actually.
Yeah, and your second largest business, which is is Metapic, the influencer marketing business, and that connects, I think, more than 2,000 brands with over 100,000 creators. Could you give us a sense of what you're seeing there? So in terms of, who are the most successful creators by size, by vertical? How are they wanting to be paid? Is it CPA fee-based, hybrid? And also seeing that Meta's recently started allowing creators to put links in their reels rather than insisting on link in bio, how you think that might have an impact on Metapic?
This is a quickly developing vertical or product that we have now as well. Influencer marketing is much, much younger than partner marketing. So you see more changes. It's relatively young. It's still developing. Like, for example, it's very difficult to find matching numbers for the market. How big is that market? How much is that growing? Because it is so fluent and it's so many different disciplines in this market itself, where we work more in the performance space part. We set up Metapic influencer marketing in the beginning, very similar to partner marketing. So we tried to leverage both the technology as well as the business model. So working on a CPA, cost per acquisition basis. We always paid the influencer on CPC, click based, while we charge the clients on CPA, and we expanded by leveraging our network of brands that we have in Tradedoubler, but we're working as well, Metapic is an independent company, we're working as well with other networks like Avon, for example, CJ Impact, which gave Metapic in the beginning a really good push. Now we're shifting a bit because Metapic itself, it was a bit stuck in this partner marketing ecosystem while it developed on brand side, with brands establishing their own influencer marketing departments in-house, having separate budgets for that as well. And this is then rather not CPA based, rather CPC or fixed price based. So we are adapting a little bit. We're working now differently with brands in order to capture that as well. With the influencers, as you're asking, we usually pay them on CPC or on fixed fees. That's kind of like what they would expect from a company like us, and that's how they have signed up. And so I think that works well. When it comes to these technology changes, like the other part of your question, we have always had the possibility to measure the click out from the Reels, so from Instagram and from other platforms. The link in bio technology, we mainly needed to measure click outs from TikTok because in the video itself we can't measure. So it's not such a big change for us, it's rather giving us a push. So it's going in the right direction there.
You have a smaller app marketing business, Appiness. Could you talk a little bit about the opportunity you see there and what kind of take-up you've seen from your existing customer base?
Like with Metapic, we launched already in 2017. That was started with a small acquisition we made back in Sweden. Appiness was very similar. It was a small acquisition that we made in 21 or 22, I think, in the Netherlands. What we offer to our clients is basically in-app sales or app download campaigns, which is interesting for all brands that have an app with a trackable app, so where they sell products through the app. And that is something that is clearly under-leveraged on brand side. So you have a lot of brands that have an app and sell through the app, but for example, can't even track in this app. So we give them the possibility to track. And then on the publisher side, it's different publishers and again, much more mobile focused. So you need to have certain technical capabilities, but you need to have some sort of know-how as well to work with app tracking, with app traffic. And that's something that's complementary basically to the partner marketing offer, but maybe to the influencer marketing offer as well. We work on the same business model, just that it's not cost per acquisition, it's cost per install or cost per sales. Like we have, for example, delivery companies where we then like track the sales, push for sales, which is working very, very well. And we see a lot of good potential for us because, as I said, many brands are under-leveraging their apps. They have them, but can't even track. So we give them this possibility while we can push for sales or app installs.
Great. And you've just recently kind of dipped a toe in the retail media space. And so you started a joint venture called Bridge Retail Media.
Yeah.
Could you talk about what attracted you to this market and how that would work with your existing business?
Maybe you see some kind of like red line in what I just described, right? So we have our technology, we have this business model that we pioneered in 1999, and we always try to leverage both. So we did that in influencer marketing, the technology, so the tracking and the payments, as well as the business model CPA, where we pay commission to the publishers or the influencers. The same we do with app marketing, and exactly the same is the case with Bridge Retail Media, so our new retail media offering, where we see an opportunity because we have both retailers and brands in our network, and retail media is one of the fastest growing segments of digital marketing, and we see a really good opportunity to help both these retailers as well as the brands to build kind of like a separate network within our network, where enabling them to work together. We've spoken with a few, and we identified a really good potential. So this is why we have set up this company with two Swedish founders, one of them being the IAB president in Sweden. So we have good knowledge about the market, but we have good access as well. So we're very optimistic for that.
Great. And Finally, I just wondered whether you, looking at your affiliate, influencer and app marketing businesses, whether you expect to keep them all as separate products, or whether at some point you can see that all converging into a kind of performance partnership network.
That's a really interesting question, because it exactly picks on what I just said on this, the leveraging the technology as well as the business model. From that side, it actually would be possible to kind of like run it all as one kind of performance marketing offer. It's very much down to the market and then to the brands and to the publishers on how we're going to position it in the future. With these different channels becoming rather larger, as I said, right, influencer marketing, big brands have now their own teams, they have their own budgets, and it's quite interesting then to learn that the whole terminology, the whole experience and know-how you need for these different channels is actually quite different. So when you speak, for example, with influencer marketing, teams, they often are not really aware what a CPA is. They rather want to work on CPC or fixed prices because that's more common in influencer marketing. You have completely different terms and understandings as well in ad marketing. So from a technological perspective, as well as from the business model in principle, as well as on the desired outcomes or the conversion, you could all match them together. But then I think it's really like expert knowledge in all of these that separates them and have a different understanding client by client, especially for the large ones. For the smaller ones, you could maybe package it together. But I think for the moment, it's good that we have it set up like it is.
Thank you very much, Matthias, for coming in. That was really interesting.
Thank you, Catherine.